Last episode 5, we talked about inspiration, right?
Yeah.
And and we were talking about kind of what inspires us to do what we do. And I just want to share just a quick story off of that. This weekend I got to play some hoops with my son, my older son. Yeah. We went down to Pepsi Park right there in Union City, California. And maybe it's considered Hayward. I don't know. It's borderline.
I was about to shout out Hayward. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it's in Hayward. So anyways, we went went out there. Took a bunch of people to the hoop and, schooled a bunch of people on the court, just flex my muscles and things like that. So
you were taking your elementary school kids
I was skins, they were shirts, and we were. Wow.
Nobody touched you.
Nobody wanted to
Someone
touch
tee him up. I'm good.
Yeah, I got him. Let me tee you up. So anyways, we went to the park and, there's 2 large full courts. And we were all playing on one of the full courts on the right side, and on the left side there's another full court, and there was I believe it was a father and a daughter and maybe a younger sibling there, and they were in on this side of the court. It was really dark.
Okay.
For whatever reason the light wasn't working, but still they were out there. They had the cones out there, and they were running basketball drills. Constant, just continuous, and as we played, they kept on going. And when we take breaks, I would just look over there in amazement. I was inspired. Okay. I was inspired by the work that they were putting in, and I'm telling you, they were in the dark. They were running drills, and they were having, it seemed like they were very focused on what they were doing, and it inspired me as a person. It's like, yo. There is a young family out here, a father working with his daughter in the dark, you know what I'm saying, and putting in work for greatness, right? That's how you get good. It's the power of the routine. It's the power of practice that makes you good at what you do. Yes. And a lot of people are not putting in that type of work, man. So when I saw that, it motivated me. It motivated me, man. And it was just like, yo, if these folks can do it, for the purpose, I believe, for this young girl was to play basketball, to get better at basketball, and to build up her skills. Yo, what are we doing as professionals? What are we doing as people to build up ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Are we literally doing push-ups in the dark? Are you? No, that'd be weird. But yeah, you know what? You want to get that muscle in, right? You want to get those 10, 15. Man, just do it. I guess do push-ups in the dark.
In the dark.
In the dark.
What's funny is, did they notice you looking at them?
I think the father noticed me kind of looking over, and I wanted to go over and say, yo, I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But it was that, come to think about it, I was just like, that's that representation right there. It was enough to show, at least me, as a person who was just seeking and looking and observant. It spoke to me, and I don't know if it spoke to anybody else, but I think it kind of goes to also show, right, that no matter what you're doing, that somebody is watching. Somebody is there's somebody watching you do something.
Right. Your grind is not just your grind. Your grind might be an inspiration to somebody else. And I think we talked about that before we went on live.
Yeah.
Is that you're right. You don't know who's watching. It could be your child. It can be whoever. And you always have to be aware of what you're doing. So if you're going to do something, do it to 100%. Right.
Yes.
Because something that you might enjoy doing, somebody is watching you. Like, man, I don't care if you're cutting the grass. I don't care if you're washing the dishes. If someone's watching you, like, you know what? Mom and Dad, they do that 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should not bother them.
Yeah, we forget to think about, this work is preparing us for something. And if we slack on it, if we lag on it, you're going to run out of time at a certain point, and you're not going to be ready. One of the things I always say to young people when I'm teaching workshops or doing some type of leadership development, I always tell them, look, there will never be a time where you know it all, but there will be a time where you have to act on what you know.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
like,
one. And if you're not,
if you're,
throw that on Twitter, get that on YouTube, do something with that, Instagram that sucker. But it's just the fact that if you're not putting in the work, if you're not ready, you're gonna miss out. Yeah. And you're not gonna know what to do in certain situations because you were not prepared for it.
Yeah, it's funny. Speaking of inspiration and things of that nature, I remember I think it was Eric Thomas I was watching on YouTube, and he said that sometimes your gifts take you to where your character's not ready to be.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think everyone's had that moment where you get to where you thought you're ready to be there, and then it all falls apart. And you're like, how does this happen? I wasn't ready for it. But then when your character is ready for your gifts, man, you're unstoppable.
Right. And when you get to those places, those are the places where you actually start to grow the most.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When it starts to get hard.
Mm-hmm.
When it starts to seem like, oh shoot, can I do this? I think that's when we start to build that character. That's when we start to build the individual inside of us. This is when we start, our brain and our experiences start to pull from all the things that we've learned from whoever. So that's what I'm saying. We got to be like a sponge. We got to soak it up. Obviously there's a flip side to that. You could soak up all these negative things.
Very true.
You could have negative routines that actually are a detriment to your life and that can actually hurt you and hurt the people around you.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the same with the opposite. So the same amount of work that you actually put in to do something good, you're going to be good at it.
Yeah.
And vice versa for evil.